What's up, everybody? How you doing? Bobby Simmons is in the building. And as you can see, in the place to be, sitting directly next to me, ladies and gentlemen, it's the one and only beautiful, the real Roxanne is in the building. Here she is. I found her. I told you I was going to find her, and I found her. And thank you. And I'm going to say thank you one more time. Thank you so much for taking the time to come here, to talk to me, hang out. I've been looking for you. They've been looking for you. They didn't believe that I was going to get you.
I'm here.
I'm the great Inspector Gadget detective. I got her in the building. Thank you. First of all, you look wonderful.
Thank you.
You look wonderful. And you're going to hang out. We got a couple of minutes to hang out, right?
Absolutely.
I want you to hang out with me for a little bit because everybody's been asking what hut you've been hiding into. So we're going to find that out. But I just want to say we are glad that you are in the building. And
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, and I appreciate it. And people got love. Let me just tell you before we cut to this break real quick. People have love for you. And I don't know if you know that there's a lot of people out there who, even young kids, and it's not just old school people,
Right.
like people who find your videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and like, oh, she's cool, and da-da-da-da. It's this old stuff, and they really have love for you. How does that make you feel to even know that?
It feels great.
Right.
It really does. I actually, ironic enough, I feel a lot more love now, more so. Not that I wasn't getting love back then, but you feel a lot more love now and more communication because, modern technology, but it's great because you get to actually feel and see and communicate now with the people that were out there seeing you perform,
Right.
where they were like a distance from you. You're on stage. But it's like I actually get to speak to people now, get to know them on a personal level, and they ask for advice, or there are things that I may say, or there are things that they may say that I'm like, wow, thanks, because I needed to hear that, I needed to read that, or whatever. So it's great. I love it, and I appreciate all the time people take
All right,
just to say hello.
Well, good. Well, they're all saying hello, and we are glad
so
that you're
much.
here. So hang tight. We're going to come back with you, and we're going to talk with the real Roxanne, and we're about to get in her business and find out what hut she's been hiding into. Don't disappear, y'all. Check it! Back here with the one and only legendary, the real Roxanne is in the building. And once again, for those who probably just catching up right now, she is here looking gorgeous. And let's go back, because I want to jump into things real quick. First of all, for those who don't know, you are, when we say the real Roxanne, you are the young lady that the group Full Force. Everybody's familiar with the group Full Force, who produced Lisa, had their own hits, UTFO, and spinning off the UTFO Roxanne record. Right. Because this record, a craze started to happen. Right. They said, well, we have to build a brand, real person, because in the beginning, from what I was told or understand being back there, this wasn't a real person. You tell us, how did you become the real Roxanne?
So it started off with the group UTFO, Kango, Doc, educator, rapper, me, rest in peace, Mixmaster, and Full Force. So basically what happened is I knew Paul Anthony from Full Force. We worked across the street from each other. And it's not the story with UTFO, it's actually the story with me and Paul, because when Paul had first spoken to me, I was singing, and I was singing not Mary J, I keep saying Mary J. Blige, Mary Jane Girls, all night long. That was one of my favorite songs. So I'm singing, I was a waitress in the diner, rush hour, everybody lunched over. And so here comes Paul, says something in regards to me, if I could sing or whatever have you. So I'm like, okay, here's another knucklehead that's about to get on my nerves, because, downtown Brooklyn, it can get like that. So I'm like, yeah, I can sing, and what, right? So he's like, whoa, okay, all right, like, slow down. I'm just trying to ask you a question, And then he introduced himself to me, who he was, as if I was supposed to be like, oh, okay. He's like, no, really, honestly, he's like, this group, all right, UTFO, Roxanne. Okay, yeah, I know Roxanne. So that's what happened with that. So I was already I was in a rap group with 3 other guys, and we called ourselves the Choice MCs. And we used to do local, battles and things of that nature. One of the competitions that we won was the Fever. The Gong Show they used to have every Thursday.
Yes.
Right? Shout outs to Sal, by the way.
Yes.
And so what it was is I was like the secret weapon. So I was into writing poetry, and that's how I got into rap. And the guys knew that. So they were like, come on, you got some good stuff. You write some great stuff, whatever have you. All right, cool. So now we do this show at the Gong Show. And what it was is that the guys would go up there, they would rap, and they would save me for last. And I was always into fashion, especially like when I was in John Jay High School, I was in the fashion club. I used to wear like men's suit. Like I was one of them females that thought outside of the box, and wear the hat. But I used to jig it, like it looks very, sophisticated and sexy with the little stilettos, I was bringing it out. Female gangster style. But anyway, so I just kind of incorporated. I used to cut up magazines, Vogue, things like that, learn about makeup. Barbara Eden was one of my favorite, actress. I Dream of Jeannie, so I try to imitate her makeup. I was a girly girl, but at the same time, I grew up with 4 brothers, so I had a little tomboy in me. Anyhow, so he had asked if I could sing, whatever have you. We became friends, and they were having an issue because at the time, to my understanding at that time, they had found someone called Elise Jack. So now they took this girl out of a club. They put her in the studio so she could record the Real Roxanne record, because at that time Shantae had came out. Right? And they wanted their own Roxanne version of what their idea of Roxanne was. Anyway, it didn't work out with Elise Jack. Okay, they had issues or whatever have you. So now they had so many different people. They were booked with so many shows and commitments. They had different people performing as Roxanne, and they needed to narrow it down to that one person. So Paul, knowing me, knowing what I did, And I used to get advice from him on the clothes I was wearing. Oh, I'm wearing this gold sequin dress to the Gong Show, which I did. I actually wore a gold sequin dress with pumps to the Gong Show at the Fever in the Bronx, okay? And when the guys did their thing, I came out last. So now you got the crowd saying, okay, what is this chick coming up here for? What's going on? She looks fly, but what's going on? I would grab the mic, and then I start spitting on the mic, and they're like, oh, and that's how we would burn it, okay, and win it, you know, win the trophy. So that was that.
The looks don't match the means.
Right, they didn't expect it, right? So it was cool. We ran with that. However, like I said, getting back to Paul Anthony and I, so he asked if I can audition in front of the guys because they were looking to narrow it down to the person they wanted. And I did. I went over to the guy's house and to Full Force's house, met UTF, all the guys. I auditioned in front of them. I sang, you know, my famous Mary Jane Girls, right? And spit a few lyrics, and then I was it. I was like, that's her. That's her. That's who we want. And from there on, I gave birth to the real Roxanne. Yeah, I brought life to her.
Yes, you did.
I bathed her. I fed her. I got her up every morning. You gotta go. Get on that plane, 3 a.m, whatever. You know, I brought life. I added my own ideas as far as, you know, how I dress, things like that. And my own ideas as far as my first album, I was able to actually write on there, co-produce, and that was it. That's from there on.
Because, you know, people, even to this day, the old school people and just people in general still fighting at the fact that she's not the real Roxanne. It's like, but you like you said, you branded that to the point of, because people have to remember, and I'm sorry, Shantae's a friend of mine, so I'm about to say this, and I know she checks this all the time. You're Shantae. Your name is not Roxanne. You know what I'm saying? So her movie could have been the Shantae story, but because the Roxanne saga such a big thing, and she played a part of it too. I don't want to push out, because she played a part at spawning it like Yamato, because she was good at that. But you were the brand market of, no, I'm the girl that, you know, even though Full Force said, well, we have to find it.
Right.
But you still said, okay, well, it wouldn't have happened had you not brought me in, or I didn't help you guys mesh this together.
I look at it like it was destined, you know, it was meant to happen. That was something that was supposed to be a part of my life. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened, right?
Right.
What are the chances of Paul Anthony and I working across the street? What are the chances of how the whole story came about on how we met each other? And auditioning, I just think it was meant to be. This was something that was given to me that I am blessed with, and I'm very grateful, and I thank God for that, okay? And I took that opportunity to, look, I didn't expect this. That was the last thing I was, you know what I'm saying? So I took the opportunity to get more creative and get more involved, and I was so excited. I was like, I'm gonna bring life to this character, you know.
And you did.
And that's what I did. I worked hard and focused on that. I wasn't trying to battle people. And one of the questions that I don't like, that I often get, is what is my war with Roxanne Shantae?
Please explain
what
it.
is the Roxanne wars about? And for people who, back in the old school, if you do your homework, if you really look past the 4 fingers, you notice that I've never really competed. I never got into competitions. I never had an issue with Shantae.
Right.
Listen, I was brought into this, okay, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, I'm going to do what I need to do with this blessing.
Right.
That's what it was always all about, and that's what it will always be about, okay? It's not about, what I'm so-and-so, I'm then, all right, good.
Right.
That's nice, I'm happy. But it was more serious to me. It was something that I wanted to take somewhere, you know, and do something positive with, you know, because something I've always wanted to do was to help younger children. You know, that is, they're our future. They're always going to be our future, so we need to do right by them.
Yes.
You know, and that was something I've always wanted to get involved with. So it was a lot more deeper for me than it was to being on stage where women were degrading themselves. I'm sorry, because that was my view. That's my opinion, and that's how I see it. I don't care whether people like it or not, but I wasn't into going on stage and talking about my mothers and talking about this and that, because my hood, all right, that was disrespectful. You don't talk about anyone's mother. You don't do these things without getting yourself knocked, okay?
Right.
So unless you're looking to get knocked on stage by me, okay, and you guys want that time, and full force, they're like, no, we don't want to do shows with this one. I'm going to keep it real.
Right.
I said, guys, I don't do well with that.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't let this fool you. Okay? No, but really, it was like, I'm not trying to do all that.
Right.
So they kept me away from all of that. There were times when I did try to do certain things with her, and she wasn't very cooperative.
Well,
she wasn't very mature, and I just wasn't feeling that. Honestly. So I was like, you know what, whatever. Let's move on.
Big up to Shantae. You my people, but Shantae was looking for it back then. But
I got you.
But
and she did. You know, she went off with her raps. I had a lot of female rappers that were very, for some reason, I don't know, they felt like they wanted to talk about me.
Right.
I look at it as, it is part of the rap thing that was, everybody had to big up themselves.
Right, and be more competitive.
Yeah, absolutely, and I get it. But hopefully that they never really took it personal was my thing.
Right.
And I always felt like these people taking this too personal. It's a business.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, if you can't shake my hand and be like, you know, then I don't want to be a part of it. I exclude myself out of that.
Exactly.
Kind of stuff.
And you know, and let's jump quickly into that, because you definitely did. I mean, of course, you went on to spawn plenty of hit records in the hip hop community. They all know, of course, Howie's Teed Off was a very big record. I know because I spent it at the Latin Quarters a lot. Bang Zoom, Take It to the Moon. People definitely love that. Also, please don't be mad at me for saying this, but you also took a stab, kind of like, can I say the first, or maybe I could just say part of being one of the female rappers who took a shot at being commercial with the Respect record that you did, and video as well. And you was right about your fashion too, because you was definitely fashionably involved in there though with that video, for those who never saw the video.
Right.
But you definitely had, and I can see that.
And even in Vegas, that was like a fun thing.
Yes.
That was like let's bring Elvis into the rap type of thing, and show him how it should be done. It was great.
So now coming through all of that, what made you decide to say, okay, you know what, this is it, I'm out the door with this? What was it that you know what, Rick, can we do something, Rick? Can we come back with the real Roxanne, because I need her to explain to me why she disappeared. So y'all hang tight, because y'all want to know this answer too, because that was the whole purpose of y'all saying, Bobby, where the Froggle is she? She's going to tell y'all right now, don't disappear. Party 101.9. Check it! All right, welcome back to Party 101.9. My guest still in the building. The real Roxanne is in the building. And she was about to tell us the reason why she ain't like none of y'all. I'm just playing. I ain't gonna start that. I was about to start something. They was about to all come back. Yo, Bobby, I'm gonna come on your show because I'm gonna clap back at the real Roxanne. No, it's not that. That's not what she's saying. No, she definitely ain't in that game no more. You know what I'm saying? But what I am gonna ask you is that after you having these hit songs, Respect, Bang, Zoom, how we see, you put out your album, and then all of a sudden, zip, you disappeared. Please tell us about that moment.
There was a second album that came out,
right,
which was produced by Trackmasters,
yes,
Red Hot Lovertone,
yes,
and Chubb Rock. I also, that album, even though it was a great album, I wasn't very supportive of it because of the things that it was saying. Once again, I had 2 daughters, and I'm going to keep it real like I do. I had 2 daughters, and I wasn't too crazy about what the message is being sent out.
Right.
You know, like, you represent, what you say is a representation of yourself, and, you know, it represents you. So my thing was, at that time, it seemed like they wanted to reinvent Roxanne's image, okay? Why is beyond me. However, they were trying to do a sort of like a Little Kim thing with me.
Right.
Okay. I have this thing with women being exploited and things of that nature, but we won't get into that. However, I was not for it because, one, I had 2 daughters, and if I didn't really want them to hear my music, then I didn't feel comfortable going out there and letting others, you know, other people's kids listen to it.
Right.
You know, like, that's how deep I am. If my kids ain't gonna hear it, I'm not gonna go out there and preach it to other people's children.
Exactly.
That's hypocritical of me, right? So they wanted to reinvent this Little Kim thing, and I'm like, all right, in order for that to work, because controversy sells.
Right.
This was before Little Kim came out. And you know what?
And sexism.
No doubt that if that works for her, that's for her. If she can run with that, by all means, do you. You understand? But what's not for me is not for me. And that's the bottom line, right? So I had wrote stuff, and I had did stuff with KRS-One, which was called Corruption. Big up to KRS-One, I love you. Another one of my favorites. But anyway, we had did a track together. I had flew out to Belgium to do a track with Hugo. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
So I went out there, and at that time, I was 7 months pregnant. Nobody even knew.
Wow.
No one knew. No one knew. Not even the record company. Okay? The way they found out, by the way, is because when I was out there recording, I got sick. I got really, like, sick. And I needed to see a doctor. So I had to, of course, at that point, let them know what was going on. Because there were certain medications that I'm not supposed to take, right, being pregnant. So anyhow, so that's how they found. They were like, huh? I said, what? Okay. Yeah, like, you guys can tell, or did you try, or what, did I just gain weight? But anyway, that's another story. I have a lot of stories.
I'm sure you do.
I like quite interesting.
We're going to talk about you before we get out, but go ahead.
But anyhow, so I had handed in stuff in regards to AIDS awareness, but I was shot down because they felt that people might get offensive. I didn't think that. My opinion was, no, actually people need to hear about this because they need to be educated on it.
Right.
And it was, at that time, it was, you know, that's when it was really rising. And I felt that, you know, people needed to be educated about something like that. They said no. Okay, so then next thing you know, Salt and Pepper comes out with Let's Talk About Sex. And not only did they talk about sex, but they got Let's Talk About AIDS. The commercial. So I was like, I'm looking at them. I know a little something about a little something, just saying. But honestly, that there was The Struggling Woman. A lot of things, I've got a lot of stuff that I wrote. But anyway, I handed this over to Chubb. Somehow, something else came back to me. It was like lyrics, their own lyrics were written. The music was changed. The whole concept of what I had in mind was just changed around. And my thing is, if you want to create a Little Kim, then you got to make this work. That's where I was getting at. Like with Madonna's scandalous, but she makes it work.
Right.
You understand? If you don't know what you're doing, then this can backfire. And who's gonna be dealing with that backlash? Of course, it's me. It ain't anyone else. I'm the one that's got to deal with that backlash. So I remember being at a concert in D.C. and I remember talking. It was Will Smith. Mm-hmm. Hello, Will Smith. Mm-hmm. Okay. Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. Mm-hmm. And I remember talking, and I believe Chubb Rock was on the bill. And there was quite a few people on there. And this was the first time I was going to perform to my second album, and which was named Go Down But Don't Bite It. Mm-hmm. So anyhow.
Mm-hmm. Get the title. Go down, but don't bite it.
Okay.
Keep it moving.
Okay, so anyway, I was expressing how uncomfortable I felt about it. And at that time, Chubb, I believe, was going to have a baby too. And I believe he was having a baby girl, you know. So I had a talk with Chubb. I did the performance that day, but I didn't feel comfortable. And it was like, I don't even think I finished the rest of my performance. And then I just walked off the stage. And since then, it's been a wrap. It was a wrap for me because it was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm not a sellout like that. I can't do this.
Right.
So, and that was it. I went back to school. I went back to school. I had told Chubb Rock, I have a daughter. You're gonna have a daughter. This is how I feel about that. Blah, blah, blah. It's not you're a great writer. You're a great producer. It's not that the album isn't great because he is. Chubb is a genius when he writes and does things, but it's just not for me. It'll work for somebody else.
Yeah.
Not for.
And you also don't want to be responsible putting yourself in a predicament where that a lot of young girls who was growing up at that time really weren't that happy about some of the images they were seeing, in hip hop, because you had some girls who was like, I don't really dig that. And then when you had the Lauryn Hills that came in later on, and you were like, wow, so we can do something like Queen Latifah and all that. So it's understandable that you decided that, you know what, this is not for me. Because a lot of people would have just said, nah, I'm trying to get that guap, dog. You know what I'm saying? You should go get that money. Just because you're doing that doesn't mean it's you. You know what I'm saying? And some always give that excuses. But the thing is that you don't need an excuse. If it's not for you and it doesn't work for you and you don't walk it, then don't talk it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. And I will say this right now, that I am proud that knowing the story now, that you decided not to talk it because you wasn't walking it. You wanted to tell another story. Right. And you've seen other female artists and rappers tell the story about what's really going on and being aware of certain things. And again, I'm going to see Chubb coming up in a couple of weeks, and no disrespect to Chubb and them too, but they should have also listened to you as well and say, hey, don't you see such doing?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't mean we're mad at them. It's just that you don't want to put someone in a predicament and you know they're uncomfortable with it, especially if you can't sell them the dream bigger. Because, most producers, and no disrespect, I know men are going to get mad at me now. Back then, even in the early days, men always put that perception in women's heads. I'm telling you, you can sell this, and doesn't mean that you this.
Right.
And you're saying to yourself, we've come farther than that, my brother. So, we can tell the story a bit different and still win. So I'm very proud that you made that decision. I know your daughters. Do you speak to your daughters about that particular story?
I tell them the story all the time.
Then there you go.
Yeah.
So you know that they definitely
My
proud.
My oldest is going to be 37.
There you go.
My youngest is 27.
Okay, all right. All right.
I have 3 beautiful granddaughters.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yes,
congratulations.
15. It's going to be 13, 5, Aviva, Juliana, Adiana, I love you, Tiana, Tiara, those are my babies.
Okay. And do they look back at mommy's career and be like, wow, this is what mommy used to do?
Oh, my grandkids are like, Grandma, I told my friends in class that you're the real Roxanne. They're like, oh, please. They're always like, no, and they find it to be funny because they say, your grandmother.
Right.
Your grandmother's a rapper. It's so funny. And then when they see me, they're like,
that's
your
right.
Grandmother?
That's right. Yeah, I'm grandma, but don't get fooled.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The lat, don't crack. You know what I'm saying?
It's awesome.
We know. And actually, are you originally from Brooklyn?
Yes.
Okay.
Born and raised in Brooklyn.
All right. Damn.
I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. I'm not from the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
My birthday's in January, by the way, because a lot of people get me confused with Elise Jack.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
Because you go on Wikipedia. Wikipedia gives you all this info.
Yes.
So they have me, Elise, Shantae, all entwined there.
Right.
They created their own Roxanne.
I know,
somewhere. Right.
Yeah, but that's
kind of mutated type of thing going on. Okay.
But that's the reason why I said let me get her here so we can get it out to everybody, the truth of what's really real. Another thing, real quick before I let you go, because I also want to put this out there to people too, that I've been watching and knowing that you've been doing is that you really are concerned about the people. Absolutely. And this is something rappers should think about too. Future rappers and even past rappers. A situation you've been fighting with and you're still fighting with now, healthcare.
Absolutely.
Please, real quick, if you can, talk about how important that is, not just to people in America. Well, of course, most of the rappers are American. You know,
Right.
why is it important to everyone, this whole thing with healthcare?
It's important to everyone because it affects everyone.
Right.
Everybody, no matter what age you are, we're all subjected to falling ill, right? So it is important for everybody. But in the healthcare business, I've been in the healthcare business for 23 years now. I work in the emergency department, an emergency department technician.
Okay.
It's something that it affects everybody in a sense of with the economy.
Right.
Right. Right now, we just had a negotiation going on. It didn't go so well, but that's my opinion.
Keep pushing.
How it affected me is I lost, you know, I lost 3 years of my service on top. Like, as of last Friday, put it like this. I had 23 years. 20 years it took for me to have a full pension, okay? And it was just snatched right from my feet the other day, from underneath my feet. So now I have to work 2 more years because it went up from 2060 as far as pension, retirement.
Right.
I don't know if people know about all this stuff. This is the stuff they're negotiating, wage salaries increases. Healthcare workers work very hard. Put it like this. I'm gonna get to this. It's a different type of war we're battling, all right? And it's the war of diseases, right? When people walk into the emergency department, we don't question what's going on, whatever. We receive you, we accept you, and we take care of you. I'm not allowed to ask any questions other than you're here for me to help you. I'm gonna try to help you the best way I can.
Right.
All right. Sometimes we come across things where we have to gear up. You know, when they had the Ebola outbreak, that was a serious thing.
Right.
Okay. And it affects everybody. People get panicked and wondering any little symptoms they get. All of a sudden, the ERs get rushed because somebody has a fever or they have a cough, and they think, oh, wait, I might have, you know. So we get swarmed with patients. Sometimes we're taking care of 170 patients a day, things of that nature. And we're putting our lives out there for you. We're on the front line, the service people, healthcare. We're on the front line of this, and we're taking care of you, taking a risk with our own lives and our own health by taking care of you. And when you see that you have these corporate businesses that are making money off of your hard work and sweat. I live the real world, okay? Average work, like no celebrity thing, no. I live the real world. I get up like everybody else, okay, and I earn my keep. Nothing is given to me for free.
Proud.
They will try to tell me that my pension, I don't pay into it. I pay into my pension by getting up every morning, okay, and going to that hospital and taking care of those people.
Yes.
All right. I don't sit at home and get free benefits. Okay. That's when I can say I'm getting them for free. No, I get up every day and I go to work and I take care of sick people who depend on me to do the best I can to take care of them and bring them back to their health.
Right.
Okay. My job is to sustain life, help sustain life, and I work with a team and a group of people to do that. Wonderful people in the ER who bust their back every day, all right? Sometimes short staff, people don't see in this business is short staff, and how it affects the community when we're trying to help hundreds of people coming into the ER and we don't have enough staff to do that.
Right.
You understand? It affects everybody. Because now the quality care that I am trying and I'm working so hard on giving you is now being picked off because of the lack of staffing, okay? And this negotiations that we just had, if you compare it to our current contract that we have that hasn't expired yet, we had a 13.6% wage increase throughout the 3-year duration now versus what we're going to be getting now. It's 9%. So we took a 4.6% cut, okay? It's a lot deeper than you think. Let me tell you something, because I will have, maybe it's not the forum, but I know a lot of people are going to hate. Well, you put it like this. And did I ruffle a lot of feathers out there? Yeah, because I am standing up for the middle people who are being affected by this contract.
Right. Because you're one of them. You feel it.
And I am one of them. Okay, like I said, I had 23 years. My 20 years that I thought I had secured in my pension.
All of a sudden it's slipping away.
It's gone. Now I got to work 2 more years to build that pension again. And I lost 3 years of extra service on top of that. Okay? But other people are affected even more, because if you have someone who's, it's going to affect people that are under 59. If you're over 59, they're going to grandfather you in with the current agreement on the contract. Okay? But if you're under 59, it's going to affect you. So the young folks, which right now they don't seem to think that a pension, thinking about, retirement and pension, things like that are important. They're very important. I heard Steve Harvey say a few weeks back, he had a panel of some young kids, and they were talking about social media, Facebook. And this one girl had said to him, I like partying, I like spending money, I like doing this, whatever have you. Do you think that I should be saving for my retirement and concerning myself with that now? Or should I concern myself, like get all my partying out the way right now and then do that later? And he said, actually, no, it's the other way around, believe it or not. Because you're young, and while you have that energy and all of it in you, okay, you need to take advantage of planning for your future.
Right.
Okay? Having your little nest egg for your future, okay? Because, like he said, you could always do that partying later on. You can, and even more so and better.
Yeah.
You can always have that great time later on.
Yeah.
And flourish from your hard work and your earnings that you've made. Right now would be the right time. So nobody's saying don't go out and party, whatever have you, but just be smart, be wise about it, and think about opening up your private retirement, putting money aside and things of that nature for your future, so that when you do retire, you can live comfortably. Because the way things are going now, we all know, with Social Security, if it's even going to exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the sad thing about it too is that with these young kids, they got to understand is that most of the older people are outliving them. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So they definitely have to think about this.
Well, yeah, we were told that.
Yeah, but you know what? I gotta say this. The real Roxanne. I
would love to come and talk to you more about these things.
Actually, I want to do that. I want to have you.
Yeah.
Well, because this one was really about me having her here and to talk about, because everybody wanted to know where you disappeared to, and we got that too. But I think what's important is, and this is just me saying this to you, because I was telling the real Roxanne earlier that I said the last time I seen her was in 1989, and I guess I can say, because back then we weren't friends, but we knew of each other, because my group and when we was out, we're doing a lot of, and the Jack the Rapper conventions and all that and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
We would always bump into each other. But, as a friend of yours from then and even now in the future, would like to have you come back to talk about this, because this is a platform for you to speak to everyone about a lot of things that's going on that they need to know.
Right.
This is a different thing for you. We happy that you were involved in hip hop, and we're gonna talk about later on too when you come back that you back into doing some new music and stuff.
Yeah, I'm currently gonna be going back into the studio. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we want to see that, but I also want to let people know now, right now, watching this and listening to this, is that it is important for people to know, she did her thing then, and we're proud of it. It's recorded, it's documented. We can always come back to it. We can have fun reminiscing on it. But you're a grown woman. You're not a child. You know what I'm saying? And you have kids, and like you said, and grandkids.
Right.
So here's some information and some wisdom I have for you. Please, somebody pay attention.
Yes.
And that's what I would like to use this more of
Absolutely.
for you. Don't date it. Just, hey, Bobby, I got a free day on this day. It don't have to be on this day. It could be a Saturday. It could be whatever you're free. We don't mind. This is what this is for.
Awesome.
Particularly
with
iHeartRadio right now.
Okay.
Hi, iHeartRadio. So,
Hello. Shout out.
Yes, exactly. We would love to welcome you back. I just want to say right now, thank you for even coming here to give me this time. And she do got a lot to talk about, and we're going to make sure she do a book too.
Hello.
Because you need to do a book. Stop playing.
Okay.
You really need to do a book.
There's a lot of work ahead of me. Put it that way.
If whatever much I can do, because I always tell people, here's what I can do, and here's what I can't do.
Right.
I can tell you what I can do. Those are the things that I can do. We're going to see to it that you get this book done at least, and talk to a lot of publishers, because you got a story to tell and need to be told. And no disrespect to my friend Shantae, there's a movie for you too.
Okay.
All right. There's a movie for the real Roxanne.
Amen.
I just want to say thank you so much for coming and giving me this time.
Bobby.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I love you very much.
I love you
the
too.
work that
Thank
you're
you.
doing. And
Thank you.
thanks for bigging up Ghost Sister Sonny. She said that's her favorite
Hello.
record.
Oh,
Bim,
yeah.
bim, got-
Oh, yeah. We should upright. Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
Thank
We're going to have you here again. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, the real Roxanne in the building. Y'all don't disappear. Check it.